Yo, Descendants, Augiesaint here and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And I want to talk about Void Erosion. And I know a lot of people have been struggling with it, especially solo. Once you go past level 25, it's really tough. I see a lot of people coming into stream and asking like how to get past level 26. It's really hard. And after clearing level 30 solo on my Hailey, I'm going to show you guys a build and just make your Void Erosion experience a lot easier, so you can go ahead and start farming it up and farming up these weapon cores, because they are extremely powerful and definitely worth the effort if you want to put some time in. And it is pretty fun to actually have an endgame. However, I'm not a fan of like bullet sponge content, so I'd much rather grind my way through these Void Erosions than go out and farm reactors, because if I have to farm another reactor, I'm going to nail my hand to a door and shut it closed or something, or jump off a cliff. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's not going to be good. So without further ado, let's hop into some of Void Erosion stuff. I'll show you guys Void Erosion level 30. If you go view the leaderboards, you can see they were Hailey rank 12 right now. We could do it a lot faster. That was a pretty slow run. We have been testing all day and like building stuff up, and our weapon is not fully maxed out yet, but we did manage the stage 30 solo. The first thing I could recommend for you guys is to pick yourself up an Albion cavalry. Deck this bad boy out, because you can pretty much go through all the levels with this. And it also happens that the Void Erosion level 30, they are weak to chill, so that does help a lot, because the Albion cavalry does have innate chill. However, on these earlier levels, you can still use the Albion cavalry all the way through these, just because purely of the CC that it provides. When you shoot this thing, it's going to actually shoot out like ricochets and scripts and stuff, and those will stun enemies. And that's what makes this thing so great, because the later part of the Void Erosions, once you get to like 25 plus, the biggest thing is actually staying alive to do damage, because we have our Thundercage here, and our Thundercage actually does more damage than the Albion cavalry. But the problem with this is it runs out of ammo very fast, because it shoots so fast. The fire rate is crazy high on this, and it also does not stun enemies, so you don't have like any survivability or CC. However, if you are playing in groups, the Thundercage is really strong when you have a Lepic that can pull all the enemies together with his traction grenade. So it pulls them all together. You hit them with the Thundercage, it does a little bit more damage than the Albion, and it's also going to cause those explosions. So the Thundercage is actually very strong as well, but not so much for solo, just purely because you don't have the CC of the Albion cavalry. And one thing you do want to make note of the Albion cavalry, you can see I have mine set up. This is exactly the same build and run. Everything I have right now is what I use to clear the Void Erosion 30. This can fully be optimized. I'm still going to optimize this later down the line. A lot of people are just asking me in chat to put out a video to help you guys through the Void Erosions. So that's why we're doing this now. So I want to show you guys the rolls on this. This is what I've been using. I haven't tested going like full chill. The main reason is because we use this to actually climb our way up through the Void Erosion. So now that we're at 30 and we're farming 30s, we could actually go around and maybe change this over to like chill on all the rolls. But for now, having firearm attack on everything is really good. The reason we run chill on it is because the weapon has innate chill, and we also have a chill roll on the bottom. Chill is very strong because it does freeze the enemies and causes CC, so you'll be frozen, they'll be stunned. There's a lot of CC buildup with this, because they'll be getting hit with those stuns as well as the chill, so that's why it's just so powerful to run. But we do switch out the enhancements. So if you are doing this on the lower levels, you're doing this on like 27, 28, I think one of them is like toxic, one of them is electric. You do want to match the element to whatever level it is you're fighting. If you're doing level 30, obviously that's great. Leave it on chill enhancement, because the more chill, the better. How much chill do we actually have right now? We've got 61,000 chill on this bad boy, and the firearm attack on this thing is just going crazy. So yeah, make sure you are matching the element, but then using the Albion cavalry on pretty much all the levels is just super strong. So then let's have a look at the other mods we're using: action, reaction, and rifle reinforcements, just for some flat out firearm attack. Together they give us like 93% firearm attack, so just a little bit more than a level 10 core. That's actually crazy that a level 10 core is almost giving us the value of 2 mods, but it is what it is. We're running a bunch of crit over here: firearm crit hit rate, firearm crit hit damage, and then obviously concentration priority again for massive crit hit damage. And since we are using this with Hailey, it's pretty much 100% crit. Well, it's close enough to 100% crit that we can just go crazy on the crit damage. We have recently switched up to sharp precision shot over mental focus. However, we do have a massive magazine right now with our magazine mod and the magazine like roll on the weapon. I think we're at 230 or something like that magazine. That's a huge magazine, so you could actually run mental focus if you want to. We were running mental focus, but this just feels nice with like the super fast fire rate, so you can get through and do like your damage faster and move on through the levels. Then we're using expand weapon charge for just increased magazine. And this mod over here is the change I had to make to actually finally clear the 30 solo before like running out of time completely. Is this right here: when acquiring, drop special rounds, change 1 general round for every 1.2 rounds. So when special rounds drop, which seems to be the highest drop for me, is the special rounds, the orange ammo. then it's going to convert that to general ammo. So ammo really becomes a problem when you are running these. I never thought I would have to use one of these things, but we are running it, and this is what we use to clear the 30. So it does work. There it is. And then lastly, we just have fire rate up there for increased fire rate. And then the rolls on this, like we looked at before, the bottom rolls, the weapon rolls is chill attack, firearm attack, crit damage, and crit hit rate. And then lastly, the weapon calls, we got firearm attack, chill attack, and then we have crit damage and rounds per magazine. I've been playing around with the rounds per magazine versus fire rate, because you can get up to 20% fire rate on that bottom roll. If you do switch over to that, maybe change the SPS over to mental focus. But again, that's going to be another video once we actually fully test and min-max everything. Just giving you guys a quick little video. Probably going to be pretty long, so I'll have timestamps down below. And then another thing that is very strong is the Smithereens. This thing does, we call it the one pump jump. This thing just obliterates everybody. We have set ours up to try and speed farm level 30, so we went firearm attack on both rolls, aim shot accuracy, because it's really important that you actually reduce the accuracy, like you reduce the spread of the shot. Because if you hit all the shots on this thing, it's a 100% crit chance. So that way you don't have to build any crit chance for it as long as you hit all of your shots. So you want to make sure you are hitting your shots. It's very important to actually get close enough, or just make sure you have enough accuracy to land all your shots. So you do get the unique buff to make it 100% crit chance. And then obviously we have bonus firearm attack versus Legion of Darkness, because the level 30 is Legion of Darkness. Just make sure when you do get that roll that you have Legion of Darkness on the weapon itself. As you can see, ours is only a purple roll. If you don't have it on the weapon, it's not going to affect the core. So make sure you have that. And then the other rolls we have is chill on it, firearm crit damage, and attack, because you don't need crit chance since we do have that 100% crit chance. Then if you have a quick look at the mods we're running action, reaction, and rifle reinforcements. Again, those are just staple on pretty much every build. And we have better concentration priority, just for like massive amount of crit damage, because we don't need crit chance. And then the other mods are kind of, I've been testing around with this thing, playing around with changing stuff and like accuracy and all kinds of stuff. But for now, this is what I did end up using to clear the 30. Obviously, if you are fighting different elements, you want to make sure you change out these elements and not chill. Change it over to electric or toxic or whatever it is you need. Make sure you always match your elements with what you're fighting. Carrying on the mods, we got focus fire there just for weak point crit damage. Then we have hit rate focus, because accuracy is so important. You want to make sure those shots are tight. Stun stabilizer for less recoil and firearm attack. I might former these two so I can actually level this up, but I'm still playing around, so we'll see what happens further on. But for now, I just chucked that in because I could fit it in. And then these last two slots we just keep open for our elements. So chill priority, and chill enhancement. I like to run chill priority because it gives you the reload time. You could run the other chill one, but it does give you a slower fire rate. So that's up to you. We don't run a fire rate mod on here because we want to pace our shots and make sure we actually hit them all. You could run fire rate. When I was playing on Glare, I think I changed out the stun stabilizer over to fire rate just because, you know, we're playing Glare, so we can have infinite ammo, but you really want to make every shot count when you don't have infinite ammo. So those two guns is what I could highly recommend. Also make sure you are running the Vuelta to break the shields. Like I said earlier, the shields are very beefy and you don't want to waste any ammo that you don't have to. And then another thing you could also play around with is the Thundercage. This is mainly if you're playing group. I'm not going to explain every mod right now. I'll show you guys the screenshot. You can screenshot and dip. But yeah, that is the build so far for the Thundercage. Again, make sure you are switching out elements for whatever you're fighting. The Thundercage with the weapon cores is extremely powerful. You have a look at our weapon cores: firearm attack, crit damage, rounds per mag, recoil. And then the bottom rolls is mag, firearm attack, crit damage, and crit rate. This thing is very strong. The only problem is it doesn't have any CC. So maybe if you're playing a Descendant that has CC, so like Lepic, if you can pull them all together yourself, or VSF for the freeze, anything in that case, then you can go ahead and use the Thundercage over the Albion. But if you're playing Hailey or anybody else, I would highly suggest the Albion because of that stun. That stun is going to save your life. And then the rest of the stuff on the build for the Hailey, we ran Annihilation set on the level 30 clear. But before that, we're actually running the full Polar Knight set. So we're actually running the Polar set in groups, because for grouping, most of the time we're at full HP because there was so much CC and we had the Lepic pulling them all together. We never really dropped HP anyway. So that's why I thought when I'm running solo, I'm going to change over to Annihilation, because we might actually, you know, drop HP when mobs hit us and stuff. For the most part, you do stay pretty healthy, but quite often I was actually under the 50% threshold, so we were getting a nice boost of gun damage from the Annihilation set. And it's a pretty good set overall, HP defense everywhere, so it makes you pretty tanky. You can see with our setup, we're at close to 40k defense and 16k HP. If we have a look at our modules, this is what we're running on Hailey. We did actually drop out the cryogenic cluster shot because it does reduce the damage on your cryo round. See, the cryo round is at 50%. If you put on the cryogenic, Now this actually goes down to 25% additional damage. So it's a little bit less damage, and since we're not really using it for the AoE clear, since we have the ricochets from the Albion cavalry hitting everything, we'll actually go ahead and drop it so we can get a little bit increased damage once we get to those elites, and especially once we get to the boss. We did also drop a focus mod from my usual build to actually add strong mentality. Our cooldown goes to 2 seconds, and that honestly feels fine. We do have cooldown on the reactor though, so make sure you try and pick up cooldown. All you need on this is cooldown. Doesn't matter what you have mounted or what stat it is. You could use any, like for example, I have, where is it? I have a really good cooldown mount. I could actually switch over to this and it wouldn't change anything. It would just reduce the cooldown. Go ahead and smack that on. Was it a 2 second? Now it's at a, well, it's still at a 2 second, so I guess we're capped out there on that. But anyway, just roll with the one with the highest cooldown that you have. And then skill cost reduction would technically be the best reactor. Skill cost reduction and cooldown, because that's all you really need for this gun build. The rest of the mods are pretty self-explanatory. Just double HP mod, defense for survivability, focus on chill for cooldown, MP conversion for cooldown, and then nimble again for cooldown. So all of these are cooldown, these two HP. And then strong mentality, maximize conservation is for the resource cost, so we can keep our 3 up at all times, and then spam our 1 away. We have Walker-Tight Rope for if we drop below that 50%, going with the Annihilation set, giving us more firearm attack, as well as giving a little bit of skill power. It doesn't matter too much, but I mean your Q is going to be hitting for a little bit of skill power damage anyway. And then lastly, we have Shot Focus, just boosting firearm attack and reducing your skill power, but doesn't matter. And then inversion tricks you could use the HP boosting of the because when you kill a bunch of enemies, it's going to boost your HP. Or you could actually drop it and run the heightened sentry call, because you will be near mobs all the time. So you will be getting this to charge up pretty frequently and like buff you with HP. But I actually prefer running the selective Neurostim, because it does give you quite a bit of MP whenever this does proc. It procs quite often, every 45 seconds. And then you'll get a certain amount of MP, HP, something like that. But it does save me quite a few times by just giving me like a little bit of MP just as I'm about to run out. It's going to proc and save you. Most of the time, I always run this over anything else, but Heightened Sensory is really tanky if you need it. And then the most important thing is to make sure you have this attribute tree unlocked and you're picking the right element versus whatever you're fighting. Especially with gun builds, it's very important to pick the right element. And then also having this passive unlock. So make sure you unlock all 4 of these, and then you just switch around the perk depending on what you fight. But I think that is about it that I can think of for now. I might have forgotten something. We've been streaming pretty hard. If you guys want to drop on by the streams at twitch.tv/Augiesaint, as well as right here on YouTube, we do dual stream every day. So come check us out. We will be grinding some more tomorrow. Trying to get that rank 1 Hailey, see if we can actually get that. We're going to have to bring our time down by quite a bit. But I think it's pretty possible with this build. I just need to fine tune it and like min-max this cavalry. Maybe I go ahead and change it fully to chill so we can just fully focus on clearing that level 30 with for the rank 1. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully it helped you out. If it did, please drop a like and sub the channel. It helps me out so much, and I'll catch you beautiful people in the live streams as well as the next video. Augiesaint now.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying